Hello loves, my name is Maya and welcome back to my canvas. I hope you all had a blessed week. I know I did. Today we're diving back into another fun randomizer I found on TikTok. And this time it is a fairy randomizer, y'all, made by Charo Lynn, hope I said that right, on TikTok. I'm super excited for this one because I've been craving to do a fantasy character lately, and as I was scrolling on TikTok, this one had so many different elements that I'm excited to try, like wings and a theme. This time we're going to be diving into backgrounds, so without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so first let's look at the categories we get to choose from. And we're choosing from hairstyle, wings, antenna, theme, and finally eyes, with an extra bonus as well. And now on to my picks. So let's see what I got. For the hairstyle, I got locks, loving that. For the wings, I got butterfly wings, okay. For my antenna, I got leaf antenna, all right. And my theme, I got swamp theme, okay. And for the eyes, I got angelic eyes, loving that. And my bonus is butterflies. All right, so for my fairy randomizer challenge, this is my roster. I have locks for hairstyle, I have leaf antenna, angelic eyes, butterfly wings, the swamp theme, and bonus butterflies. I think that everything is going to come out pretty well, and the picks are awesome. They all work really well together. I love that I got leafy antenna, and I think that's going to work well with the swamp. So far, the butterflies also work with my bonus mini butterflies, so I'm excited to see how this comes together. And if I had anything to say that I'm kind of nervous to try, is definitely the swamp theme. I have never ever drew a swamp theme before. The closest thing I've drawn in the past was a forest theme with an owl OC that I made a couple years back, and I'll show a picture of that right here. So it was something close to this, but other than that, a swamp is new territory for me. So I'm definitely gonna have to do some research. But without further ado, let's get started and see this swamp fairy, majestic butterfly girl come to life. All right. So the first step for me in my drawing process is always doing a sketch. And this was a pretty rough one. I looked up some reference photos of swamps and was trying to put together how I want my swamp layout to be. And this will change later on in the drawing, but this was my first idea, was to have more of like a swamp-like pond with her in the middle. And for the pose, I was looking for a more angelic, poised type pose, and the best type of reference that I could find to represent that was ballet poses, ballet dances. So I looked up some poses on Pinterest to see which one would fit what I was going for. I wanted her pose to be more of like in a dancing pose position, because my idea for this was to make her into like a swamp moon dancing fairy. So I wanted her hands to be gestured, one towards the moon that I'll have shining in the water, and then one pointing towards the sky. My also idea in the future was, for when I added in the butterflies, was that she would have like a cluster of butterflies floating in her hands. Now for her outfit, I was kind of going off of the reference that the randomizer gave, which was more of like a rugged dress that had like some frill and twine or bracelets around to the tummy area. And I found myself having a difficult time with that outfit design And you'll see later on when I chose something else for that. But the next step was getting the forest together. And for this, I added more water in the background to give it more foreground to the front. And of course, because they added a theme of a swamp, I made my fairy big. I know most fairies are small, but I figured that if I wanted to capture as much of a swamp feel so that I can show off the swamp more than just having like a fairy on a lily pad. So that was the idea I had going there. And once I got to rendering the trees was so fun to me because I wasn't trying to be too technical with it. I really had fun just grabbing one of my paintbrushes and then just kind of having fun with the squiggly lines and giving the trees more of like a storybook kind of feel. I also wanted to add fog to give it more of like a mystical feel, and I played around with the water with adding shadows and adding shadows of the trees and water droplets to make the water look more realistic. Now, what you see here is I was trying my best to love the outfit, but I was just not feeling it. I was having more fun getting the butterfly wings together. So as you can see here, the butterfly wings kind of took me like one pass to design. I didn't need them to be too overly designed because I figured that they were pretty much going to speak for themselves. So as those were done, I went back to the drawing board with her outfit and I wanted it to fit more with the swamp feel. So I wanted her dress to incorporate more leaves. So I decided to make her more of like a bodice type dress where she had a leaf skirt at first. And as I was rendering the leaves, which was also very fun and relaxing to do, I caught myself, rendering the leaves for like 30 minutes straight. In a bit, you'll see that I started copying and pasting and moving the leaves more upward towards the rest of her body because I felt like it looked better. For some reason, I couldn't come up with a top idea that fit the swamp theme for the top of her outfit. And once I started adding the leaves to the top and to her chest area, I was like, okay, I'm starting to see the vision here. So then I tried to add like a glitter middle, but I decided just to connect it all together and make like a leaf dress. And once I did that, I really liked how that matched with the swamp theme that I was given in this randomizer. Next, I spent time just going in with the finer detail, adding more detail to her dress by defining some of the leaves, and then I went in with her face here, and I wanted to make sure that I captured what was in the randomizer, where she had long hair, long locks, and I wanted her locks to be so long that they touched the water. Because I thought that would be a cool add-on since she's kind of floating above water here. And for some reason, the locks are usually like my funnest thing to draw, but this time it felt a little difficult for some reason. Until I got into like the coloring part, I was feeling more comfortable with the final design of her hair. But for some reason, like the first couple of passes of designing these locks were like crazy for me. And now just adding in the final shadow, and to make it pop even more of her dancing in the moonlight, I added a lighting to it. And once I did this, I was almost tearing up with how beautiful it was coming out. Once I did that, I almost forgot that she had leaf antennas, so I quickly drew those in, and I forgot about the butterflies, so I went in and added them in and added a glow effect to them as well. And ta-da! Here is the final look of my fairy. I wanted to come into Clip Studio Paint and give you guys a little bit of a tour, and also wanted to zoom in on some of the finer details, such as her face here. I just loved the expression, loved how everything came out here. The randomizer gave me the idea of adding these cheek designs, so I made sure to incorporate those there, with her eyes and in the leaf antennas. I just love it so much. The color theme was definitely purple, blue, and green, as you can see. So I tried to be sure to stick with that and not go too astray with too many colors. I definitely wanted this to be a mystical midnight idea where it had like darker colors and not too much brightness going on, especially since I was going with like the nighttime theme. But I just loved the effect of adding glow, and the glow, it was a first for me. Usually I don't add a lot of glow too much to my drawings, and I really liked how the moon came out, making sure that it shined and represented, the water waves that you see in water. And I really liked how her hair came out. I think the thing I realized my issue with the hair was because it was long. I never really drew locks this long before, so I guess to me it was hard for me to visualize locks this long. And I know that's a thing in real life, but I just never drew lock hair this long before. But I think it really came out well, especially when I relaxed and just let the locks do its thing. Because, in real life, that's kind of just what you do. When you have locks, you just let it do its thing. You let it grow, you let it twist, you let it lock up and be gorgeous. So I was like, you know what? Just let her locks do her thing. My favorite part for sure is I really like how the dress came out. I am so glad that I didn't go too heavily detailed with the leaves here and just added like little details of leaves, because I think that made a really big difference. At first I wasn't going to do that. I was just going to focus on it having just the painterly style, but I think having that quick detail of leaves here really matched the quick detail that was added into the trees. But the trees came out great, absolutely great. I can definitely see that I've upgraded from my owl lady that I showed you guys in the beginning, with that forest, because I fell in love with the forest I drew for that one here. But this is just immaculate, and the wings as well. And it's so cool that for the randomizer I was able to get wings, and I was able to get mini butterflies to add in as well. But you guys let me know what you think. Do you like my swamp mystical moonlight dancing fairy? I know I do. If you have any other randomizers out there on TikTok that you think I should try, let me know. I would love to see them, or leave the name of the content creator down there and I'll give them a check out. But I thank you guys so much for hanging out with me and sticking this far in the video. I am so close to 200 subscribers as I'm recording this, 3 subscribers away. So let's see if we can beat that and rise to the thousands, which is a dream of mine, to create and be a full-time artist, to showcase fun challenges and to showcase the gifts that God has blessed me with you guys, and to be a part of the art community. I've always loved the art community. I always love supporting other fellow artists out there. So it's always been a dream of mine to have a art community to commune with and enjoy challenges and ideas and collabs, which is something I would love to do in the future as well. So if you liked this video, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more art like this, more challenges, more faith videos, more art news and talks. I would love to have you as part as my community. Thank you guys so much for watching. I pray that you have a blessed day and night, and I will see you in the next video.